Right.
Okay, so just about almost 3 questions. So the first one is, you know, what you just did with the previous trading, not launching it, that said a lot about your personality, your character.
It's not just me. It was all of us.
Everyone in the
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, who you were growing up?
I'm a high school dropout. I was an electrician right out of high school. Did that for a few years. I mean, literally, I'm a construction worker. My mom was a single mom, had no money growing up. We had a little Volkswagen Beetle, I remember. You know, she used to drive us to school in, and it was old, and I could see the road through the floorboards in the car going. So I don't know how my mom did it. She was a single mom with 2 kids, two boys that were just crazy. And when I was doing electrical work, I was just like, there has to be something better than this. There has to be something better. And I would go to, like, be working in an office, like, doing whatever, and everybody's dressed up nicely. And I'd be like, hey, how much money do you guys make here? Like, I want to get a job. Like, I don't want to do construction anymore. How much do you guys make? And they're like, you make more than we do. And I'm like, what? Like, we make $12 an hour. And I'm like, I make more money than you do. Like, and so I was like, okay, that's not it. Even though they're dressed up, they're not making more money than I was as a, 20-year-old electrician. And so then this one computer place, they were like, oh, starting in the computer field is like $40,000 a year. I was like, what? I got to do that. And I started asking a lot of questions, but it seemed really complicated. You got to have college degrees, and it's like, and this is when computers were like brand new, like nobody had computers back then. And then a girlfriend of mine's best friend's husband was doing door-to-door sales, and I mean at the time I was probably making $600-700 a week being an electrician, 20, 21, 22, whatever. Yeah, probably like that, 21, 22. And then I talked to this guy. Well, first she said, this guy makes like $2,000 to $4,000 a week. And I was like, what? I will do anything to make money like that. And so I talked to this guy, and he's like, all right, come down to this office. They'll give you an interview. Now, you got to understand, I took off my lunch break to go to this office to meet these people. So I'm going in there with like a tank top, jeans, work boots, filthy. And I'm like, yeah, man, I heard this door-to-door sales thing, And so they give me a script, and they're like, look, learn this word for word, come back on this day at this time, like at nighttime. I was like, all right, no problem. And I talked to the guy, and he's like, look, man, get a voice recorder and record yourself doing this. And listen to yourself. You want to use good voice inflection. And he did the script for me. And this guy was like an amazing sales guy. And he's like doing the pitch for me. And I listen to how he do it. And then I do it. And I listen to myself. And I went back on the day they told me to go back. And they had us just read it. And then everybody read it. And they said, okay, now do it without looking, like pointing at, the card. And I do it. And then next guy, he stumbles through it. The next guy, I lean over the guy, and I'm like, didn't they tell you to learn this? And he's like, oh, I was busy. And I was like, oh, he's not taking this serious. Like, I knew we can make $2,000 to $4,000 a week. And I was taking this serious. And they end up telling the guy that told me about it that I knew it better than anybody on the first day, but I was serious. So then they give me a list of the objections. Like, this is what people are going to say, and here's your rebuttals. From going from the restaurant to going to start knocking on doors, I learned almost all of them. And I think everybody sold either 0 or 1 that night. I had 5 sales my first night. Now, here is the true lesson in all of this with this thing. When I went in, the guy that I found out about it from was an amazing, amazing sales guy. Like, I'm talking next level sales guy. And he could get $1 million a year sales job at places. Like he sold the security systems of the White House many years ago. Like next level sales guy. On the team that he was on, the lowest guy was making about 50 sales a week. And the top guy, this guy, was making 120 to 150 sales a week. So I'm not the worst at anything I ever do. I might not be the best, but I'm never the worst. So the bottom is 50 a week. Top's 120 to 150 a week. But the bottom is 50. Like I'm looking at week after week, and nobody is ever below 50. That's like the bottom. There was 3 other teams that I don't know who those guys are. The guy I know is the number 1 guy on this team. On the other teams, the top guy was at 50. So I come in selling 60, 70 a week because I'm not the worst at anything. If I would have gone to one of those teams and thought the top was 50 and the bottom was 6, I might not have been doing door-to-door sales for very long. But I got in with guys, and then they were like, read this book, read this book, read this book. And I start reading the different sales books. I start listening to the Zig Ziglar tapes. The company actually did a trip. We went to Anthony Robbins' seminar. I was literally front row center. So I went from electrician to door-to-door salesperson surrounded with just badass sales guys that were like, this is how you do it. And it just completely changed who I was. Completely. Like I was nothing the same. I went from where's the concerts to go to and, do this and this to where's the next seminar I can go to? I need to go to the store and get these tapes. I need to do this. And all became about self-development. And then I got invited to a network marketing meeting. And they were explaining everything. And where it really clicked for me is that every night I'm knocking on doors, making a sale, knocking on doors, making a sale. If I don't want to work a night, I don't have to work a night. I can do whatever I want. I'm an independent contractor. I work when I want to work, don't work when I want to. Whatever you can afford, do whatever you can afford. But we had a sliding scale every week. So every week you start at 0 and you got so many for the first 20 sales and then more for the next 10 and more for the next 5 and more for the next 5. So if you only worked a few days a week, you're getting the little money. You had to power through to get to that big money at the end of the week. And, but if you didn't work a week, you make no money. So then I see network marketing where we're selling a product and we're selling a business. So I'm like, okay, so I can do sales the exact same as I do sales now. Where here, if I don't work a week, I make nothing. Here, if I have a downline that I've built, I can still get paid even if I do nothing and I go on vacation. And I can put in the same amount of effort into both. This makes so much more sense. And so that's when I went over and I started focusing on network marketing. And so that's how I got into MLM. And that was more than 20 years ago. And I have been through so many things in my 20-whatever year career. Most people would have quit long time ago. I got lucky and unlucky because in the very beginning, I don't know how this happened, but I had a couple guys that were actually, pretty decent networkers. And I had found out about a deal somehow. I don't know how. Told them about it. And they were like, we're going to sign up in your downline. I was like, what? And all of a sudden, I'm making crazy money, compared to what I'm used to. And I think I made like 20 or 30,000 in a month, something like that. But that company fell apart. But after you've gone from $600 or $800 a week to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a week, and then all of a sudden, $30,000 in a month being in my early 20s, how can I ever go back to making $1,000 or $2,000 a week? It's like, I got to chase that $30,000 a month, and I can never quit. And then another thing that happened to me, like, and it's weird how like little tiny things could actually kind of be life-changing. A guy that I really, really, really respected in network marketing. We had a few mutual friends, like guys that had known him 10 years earlier than I had known him. He was a successful businessman, worked his way up from the ground floor, and this is back in the 90s. He went from sweeping floors to delivering pizzas at Domino's to being a manager, you know, up and up, and he ended up working his way up to owning the 6th largest franchise of Domino's in the world after sweeping floors. Sold his franchise and got into network marketing. And I learned a lot about network marketing from that guy. Just watching how he did things, and like, I'd literally go over to his house and just sit on the couch and watch him, how he would set up conference calls, and then people would start calling for 3-ways, and he'd have his list lined up, and he'd be going back, like how he'd do everything, structure the downlines. Like, I learned a lot about just what was going on. And some weird stuff happened, and I ended up, like, one company fell apart, and he went one way, I went another way, but we still talked. And one time he calls me, he's like, hey man, look, I just want to let you know I'm your #1 fan. And there's going to be a day where you're going to be traveling the world and building downlines all over the world, talking to giant groups, and I just want to let you know.
So you were talking about your story, and that's really important. For me personally, I think for a lot of people, you are the greatest network marketer in the world.
No.
You are the greatest network marketer. You can't be a great network marketer and have a greatest network marketer under your group. So it's impossible. And I think this part of me is because me believing that it's all in the mind. And if your mind can accommodate those kind of people, they won't be in your space. So what you're telling us about who you are, your personality, and things that you went through is already explaining what's going on in your mind, you know, the kind of person you are. So carry on, please.
Okay, so, but let me talk about when you say I'm the greatest networker in the world. Okay, so I do not think that even a little bit. My network marketing career, I've always been one of the hardest working networkers, but I would not say I'm the smartest, or I'm the most organized, or I'm the most disciplined. I mean, there's some guys that are just absolute machines, and there's a lot of people that do different things in network marketing. There is no one way to be successful in network marketing. There's some guys that would be horrible in front of a room, don't like talking to people. They build everything online through websites and emails. I could not do that. So they're successful in a way that I couldn't be successful. So, I mean, there's guys that make millions of dollars in Amway. I could never build Amway. Like, if I joined Amway, I don't believe in that and what they're doing. It's just an old technology. Like, it's 50-something years old. And it's just corporate guys running it that have never built downlines in anything. And the way it's run is just, it's run like a 50-year-old thing. How many people do you know own 50-year-old cars? Or a 50-year-old cell phone? Or a 50-year-old anything? So if you have somebody that goes into that company and can build a big downline, you could say they're a better networker than me, because I could never do that. So I don't want to say I'm the best. Now, here's one thing that's always kind of weird to me with BitClub. So I learned about Bitcoin. I got excited about Bitcoin. I started sharing with people what I got excited about. Wasn't selling. I was sharing with them what I got excited about with the technology and everything I had learned and continued to learn. I did nothing different for the past 4 or 5 years that I did my previous 20 years. I worked just as hard, put in just as many hours, did webinars, did conference calls. I mean, before BitClub, I had a stretch of probably 10 years where almost 7 days a week I did conference calls every single day. I would do Saturday training calls, and I would stay until every question was answered, even if it was 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I was serious about the business. I treated it as if I invested $1 million into building a whatever, and I had to make that business successful because I had all my money dumped into it. I treated every network marketing company that I joined the exact same way. Even though I didn't have to invest $1 million, I acted as if I did. That's how I became successful. I didn't take it as all right, maybe I'll make, a couple phone calls this week to try and get somebody to get on a webinar. I was calling, 40, 50, 100 people a day, like every day. I would call out of phone books if I didn't have anybody to call. Like I was relentless, and I didn't do anything different now. It was Bitcoin that did this. So the success that we've had in BitClub and the amount of people that have become successful, it's not because all of a sudden I got a PhD and was so much smarter. It was Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's an exciting technology. I mean, I was on a plane one time and I was explaining what is Bitcoin to a lady that was sitting next to me. I didn't tell her anything about myself. I don't even think she knew my name. I didn't tell her where I was from. I didn't tell her anything, nothing. I was just explaining Bitcoin. At the end of the conversation, we're getting ready to get off the plane, she said I was the most interesting person she had ever met. She knew nothing about me. So she was basically saying Bitcoin was the most interesting thing she had ever heard about, but she said it was me, but it wasn't me. It was Bitcoin. And if somebody ever told me, like, we started, and I was doing webinars all the time also, I'm used to webinars being 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. And I was doing webinars that were an hour and a half and 2 hours. If somebody would have said to me, watch a 2-hour webinar, I'd be like, you're crazy. I'm never watching a 2-hour webinar. But I was telling everybody, watch the webinar. I'm not going to answer any questions until you've watched this webinar. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Asking people to watch 2 hours is too much. So I would tell them, look, just watch the first 10 minutes. Just watch 10 minutes. That's it. Because I knew once they started learning a little bit about Bitcoin and they got that hook in them where it's like, oh my God, this is different. What am I going to learn next? What am I going to learn next? What am I going to learn next? And what ended up happening was people would call me back and I'd say, did you watch the webinar? And they're like, I watched it twice. And I'm like, I thought you didn't have time for a 2-hour webinar. They're like, dude, this is huge. And I'm like, I told you, man, like, this is different. So I know everybody wants to be like, oh, it's Russ. I can't take credit for this. Like, this is way bigger than me. Like, the richest, smartest people in the world aren't investing in Russ. They're investing in the Bitcoin technology. And so I just tried to follow that trend of what those really rich, smart people were doing. And sharing with people why I got excited about it. And then they get excited also. Probably because we have something in common. So that's why it's just weird. Like, I'm not this special guy. I'm just a normal guy that found something special and wouldn't shut up about it, sharing it with other people. And I did not worry about making money. Like, really, in the first year, we made no money. Like, nothing. Like, everything went back into it. I mean, we made nothing. We weren't worried about making money. We knew eventually it would happen. Like, this technology is just what happens. And then, like, when the price of Bitcoin started spiking, just everything took off. And nobody expected this little stupid Bitcoin deal to do $200 million a month in sales for multiple months in a row. You know, so there's no way I said, all right, I got a plan where we're going to get BitClub Network to go to $1 billion in sales. Never! I never thought we would do $1 billion in sales. Never, 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 never. So, yeah, again, just one day at a time, do the next right thing, keep learning, keep educating.
It's amazing. So I'm just thinking, like, for a lot of us, we want to be successful because we want to come out of this and want to help my family, this and that. So there's always a reason. So what makes you to be who you are? Like, what motivates you every day to work harder than everybody else?
Well, I think it just started from growing up. Like, we didn't have money growing up. I mean, I can remember being in school and, all the kids had Nikes and whatever, and I had, the Kmart $5 shoes where all the other kids, I mean, back when I was younger, like, nowadays it'd be like $100 or $150 pair of shoes. Back then it was probably like $40 or $50, but that was expensive for a single mom back in those days. So I had, the crappy $5 shoes, and I would get made fun of for stuff like that. And, having my friends have nice cars and I got a crappy car. My friends have this kind of bike and I have that kind of bike, and they have these toys and I don't like I just feel like everybody had more than me. And then when I got out of high school and I was doing construction, and I would see guys that would be, 50, 55, 60 years old, living paycheck to paycheck, doing construction. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I remember sitting in, it was a building where we had to have security clearance, where they built satellites, and they were like a defense contractor in the U.S. And we had to have like clearance to go in for doing electrical work, and we were waiting for the badges one morning. And I was talking to this one guy, my back hurt, and I think I was like 19 or 20 at the time. And I was like, oh my God. And I was talking to a guy that was probably 40, and he had been doing electrical work for 20 years. And I was like, oh my God, does your back ever hurt? And he goes, every day. And he goes, wait till you've been doing it for 20 years. And he goes, if I wake up in the morning and I'm not in pain, I go to the hospital. Something's wrong. I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I don't want to do this for the next, 20, 30 years and be 50, 60 years old. So when I heard a guy was making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, working 3.5 hours at night, doing door-to-door sales, selling oil changes, I'm like, you tell me what to do, I will do exactly what you tell me to do if that's the result I'm going to get. And I did exactly what they told me to do, and that's the result I got. That's why I think it's so funny when I tell people, this is what I did, this is what works. Oh no, Russ, it's different in Africa, it's different in Malaysia, it's different in Japan. Okay. You have a different attitude than I had. My attitude was, you're the guy making the money, you tell me what you did, and I'm going to do exactly what you did if that's the result I'm going to get. And I would follow the plan, and I got the results. So I just think it's funny when people try and tell me the way things work. I'm like, okay. All right.
That's amazing. That's a huge lesson for me. And so as a closing, two things. Number one would be, what's one or two things, I don't know, that you would want other people to know about you that you think don't know?
I don't know. I mean, I'm such just a laid back, normal person. I mean, I guess one thing about my attitude is I really don't get highs and lows like I used to. Like, oh my God, I made $2,000 in a week. Oh my God, I only made $400 this week. And people have highs and lows, and I've just tried to not go so crazy when things are good and not be so depressed when things are bad, and I try to be really, really, really even. It's just a lot easier that way. I mean, when you get in those holes, they're hard to get out of. And when you have these highs and then things aren't that good anymore, you feel like you're depressed. So just try to always be happy with all the situations. And I mean, I get frustrated, I get mad, and I always try to come back to, I have problems other people wish they had. So
Such as.
everything, I have no bad problems. Like, I have no bad problems. There's a lot of bad problems in this world. I don't have any bad problems. Like, the restaurant, they get my food wrong. That's a problem. It's not a bad problem. It's a problem other people wish they had. You know, this happened or that happened. It's just, so I just try to be kind of level-headed all the time, relaxed. I mean, I just like hanging out with friends and doing normal things. I'm not like, I don't know what people think about me, but it's just, I don't know what people think, because every time I'm around a lot of people at BitClub, everybody wants to like, picture, selfie. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, and so it's really weird. Like, if I go to the mall by myself, nobody knows who I am. And I might go eat by myself, nobody knows who I am. But if I'm in a group with BitClub, everybody wants to film me while I'm eating and take selfies. It's like, I'm just a normal guy. Like, so I know there's a lot of owners of network marketing companies, or, you know, just whoever, where they're always like, yes, we're the greatest. Yeah, come on, everybody. Yeah, applause. I'm just not that guy. I'm about educating, and like, let's not waste time with the bull crap, and let's just freaking help you be successful. Like, so I'm just kind of a laid back, just relax, like everything's all good.
That's kind of different to a whole lot of network marketing out there. Absolutely different.
Yeah.
Because that is not the reality there.
Look,
And you're not a politician, I can tell. I mean, a lot
no,
of CEOs I know are very politician.
no, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so, okay, that's another thing. Like, CEO, I'm not a CEO. I told you, I run nothing. I don't run anything. Now, I am kind of the voice of the field, and in network marketing, especially BitClub, the field is everything. And so, you know, if something is not going good, it comes to me and I go, and like, the field is the most important. So, you know, oh, Russ made this decision. I didn't make a decision. Everybody came to me and we made the decision because it's best for everybody. I just don't go randomly going, hey, you know what? I think this would be best. Let's just do it. I've never done that in BitClub. Never. So I can't take credit for everything. But if things go wrong, I'm sure everybody will give me credit for that. But everything going right, I can't take credit for that.
That's the quality of a great leader. Well, that's what it is. So this is especially for Africa, okay? So they're going to be in a room of 500, 1,000 people listening to this video.
Right.
And for a majority of people in Africa, they pay $5.99 to join. And I have to tell you, it's so hard to get that many to join. Maybe there's the same for the rest of, the rest of the country, but that's the thing about Africa. Now, for people like me who just joined today, $5.99, and have a lot of noise outside about, oh, this is not going to work, and it's, we're not going to succeed, or,
Right.
a few years down the line, this club is not going, like all have this question. I struggle to make them see the vision and just keep working and believe everything. So what would you say? They're listening to you right now, a group of 1,000 people in a room. What would you tell them about BitClub Network?
I just go right back to what I just said a minute ago. If like, when I heard I can make $2,000 to $4,000 a week, you tell me exactly what I need to do, I will do exactly, and I got the results. So if someone's being negative about BitClub, BitClub has probably created more than 300 millionaires since we started. And if the person that's telling them, oh, BitClub's no good, if that person has created more than 300 millionaires in the past 5 years, please listen to that person. Follow them. Go with them. Me personally, if I would have listened to people that told me door-to-door sales was stupid, network marketing was stupid, I would still be a construction worker right now, or I would be doing something other than network marketing, and I would have nowhere near the success that I've had. In network marketing, I've had many, many ups and downs, just so many. But I have lived a very free life for the past 20-something years. I've worked harder than any boss would ever ask me to work, but I do it when I want, how I want, the way I want. Nobody tells me when to wake up. I don't use alarm clocks. I mean, I do from time to time, but almost never do I use alarm clocks. I turn my ringer off. I go to sleep when I'm tired of being awake. I wake up when I'm tired of sleeping. I've had a free life. It's not wake up every morning, get off at the same time every day. I get my steady paycheck every week. It's not that consistent robot life, but that would not be living for me. If other people are fine with that, that's okay. With BitClub Network, we're just trying to give people an option to have an opportunity to change their lives. Joining BitClub Network does not mean you're going to be rich. Not at all. Most people will not, because most people will not have the attitude that you have and Sadiq has and I have. They will never have that attitude. Sadiq said earlier when he was talking here that he sold phone cards, nutritional products, this, that. I've sold everything in network marketing. The product never meant anything to me in network marketing. Never, ever, ever. I was in a nutritional company. I was telling you the story before. I was in a nutritional company, and back then I used to smoke and drink lots of sodas like Mountain Dews, and we're selling nutritional products. And this company that I was working with, I broke all their records. I did not take the products, and I didn't care about nutrition at all. All I cared was that they had been in business for a few years, and they paid their paychecks and they paid monthly. They paid their paychecks every month on time, so I knew I was going to get my paycheck. And I went to work. And I spoke at their convention, and a group of people were hanging out at the pool at night one night. And I went out there, I was smoking, and a lady's like, "How can you be doing that? How can you be smoking when you're supposed to be an example for a nutritional company? You're supposed to be a top leader." I'm like, I don't care about these products. I care about making money. That's the only reason I'm in this. I don't care. But I outworked everybody in that company. It's a nutrition company. I outworked them, but my belief in the products, I didn't care about the product. The products were great. In fact, I had a guy call me from that company, and he's like, "Is this Russ?" I said, "Yes, this is Russ." And he goes, "I'm in your downline." I'm like, "Who you under?" And he goes, "So-and-so." I'm like, "Who they under? Who they under? Who they under? Who are they under?" And he finally got to a guy that was like on my 7th level or 8th level or something. So this guy was like 15 levels below me. And he's like, "I heard you have thousands of people in your downline." I'm like, "Yes, I do." And he's like, "I need your help." I'm like, "What can I do for you?" And he's like, "Well, I'm pretty sure I know more about these products than you do." I said, "I'm willing to bet you do, because I'm smoking cigarettes and drinking Mountain Dew right now, and I don't take the products." And he's like, "Oh, I'm on all the doctor's calls. I do this, I do that." I'm like, "Wow." And he's like, "Dude, these products are amazing." I'm like, "I'm glad I'm selling something that's good." And he's like, "Look, I have 50 personally sponsored people." I'm like, "Okay, it's great to meet you. Like, I got a guy that's planted 50 people personally in my downline. I want to talk to you." And he's like, "But nobody has signed up anybody." I'm like, what? And he's like, look, man, I give them samples. I teach them about the products. I bring them on the doctor's calls. They love the products. They take the products, but nobody signs up anybody. I'm like, oh, you got customers. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, customers won't sign up anybody. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you got a bunch of product users. I don't have any product. I've signed up 0 customers. I sign up people that want to be rich. And they sign up people that want to be rich. And they sign up people that want to be rich. The customers will come on their own. Guys like you will sign up 50. I bring in the thousands of people. And then everybody will get some customers. I don't worry about that. I'm here to make money. He's like, got it. Thank you. Wow. So when people are like, oh, I did my spreadsheet and the mining, all right. I invested $25,000 in the stock market, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. And I did day trading, and in 4 months, I had 15 cents. Is the U.S. stock market a registered entity? I lost all my money. Go invest in a restaurant. 90% of restaurants go out of business in the first 5 years. Go invest in this. Go invest in that. You can invest in lots of different things. Number one, you're not going to be able to do it for $500 or $600. It's going to cost you a lot of money. And you can lose all of your money. So, again, what's the worst that could happen here? You can invest your money and you could lose your money. If the price of Bitcoin drops down to $1, you lost your money. It's over. We can't do nothing. Like, there's nothing we can do. Now, the odds of that happening now compared to when we started and Bitcoin was $200, I mean, you've seen Bitcoin move $200 and $300 and $400 in one day. We were here when Bitcoin was at 200. So there was still a chance it could have gone down to $1. I doubt that was ever going to happen now, but it could. What's the best upside I could get if I gave my money to a super smart genius to invest my money in the stock market? What's the best that's going to happen? Like, if we look at since we started in BitClub Network, maybe my 3,600 would have turned into 10,000. But 95%, 99% chance, no. But it's possible in the stock market. I could have tripled my money in the past 4.5 years. In BitClub Network, we've had people make 20 times their money. And a lot of those people said, I'm never going to break even. So if people are like, I just don't know. If you're so focused on just the product, you're never really going to go anywhere in any network marketing company. Because every single product that's sold in network marketing, every product, there's no perfect product, or everybody would be selling it. Because you can always say, oh, well, that ingredient, there's that. Realize every nutritional company, somebody would go, well, Russ, if it had this ingredient, it'd be so much better. Russ, if it didn't have that one thing, this would be so much better. Every company. Mining is our product. And when people are like, that's that guy that's like, what do you think I do to people who go, Russ, if we just had this one ingredient, I think I could sell it a lot better. What do you think I say to those people? Get the hell away from me. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's when people are like, Russ, have you looked at the mining earnings? No. Why haven't you looked at mining earnings? Because I don't care about the mining earnings. We mine Bitcoin, we pay out the Bitcoin. I don't know. Like when we started, I didn't know where it was going to go. I just knew that our downside was the same as the stock market and our upside was way higher than the stock market. So I was like, I'm willing to take a gamble on this. The worst I could do is I have to start over again, which I've done many times, which Sonic's done many times, which many of us have done many times. If I got to start over again, no problem. I already know the formula for being a success in network marketing. But if this works, if we're right, our upside is giant compared to anything we could ever imagine. And that's what actually happened. So when people are like, Russ, the way it looks right now, I'm like, then don't join. If you're worried about that, don't join. How come you weren't asking those questions and doing the same thing when you threw your money at MMM? Or when you threw it at this stupid scam or that stupid scam or this stupid scam? And now all of a sudden you want to come here to a legitimate deal and go, well, you don't really pay out that much, and I'm used to all these other companies paying me more. I don't want to cuss, but just go. Just go. 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 What are you waiting for? Go.
Powerful. Very powerful. I'm so supercharged up. As a closing,
Yes.
being in a cryptocurrency, yeah, okay. So as a closing, being in a yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So as a closing, being in a cryptocurrency space for this long, meeting all the smartest and everyone in the cryptocurrency space, and you are in the closest, in the inner circle of everything when it comes to cryptocurrency, I believe.
A little bit, yes.
All right. So, what's your opinion on coins that have MLM attached to it?
That have what?
MLM attached to it. Coins like the same as like Club Coin attached to MLM, or this coin, that coin, but they have a network marketing element to it.
Every one I've seen has been 100% a scam. So if you look at whatever, it doesn't matter. U token, OneCoin, Bitcoin, Gem Coin, this one, that one. I mean, there's just so many of them. And you're buying something, you're really buying these coins, and they're saying that they're going to go up in value over time. But then they just sell literally unlimited amounts of these coins, and where they're like, oh, there's only going to be 100 million, but they end up selling 5 billion of them. And they either don't have a blockchain, or they have a blockchain that's just completely, like, it's just bull crap. And then you had BitConnect, and like, just every one has been a scam. And again, with ClubCoin, when we started BitClub Network, there was no ClubCoin. We hadn't even thought of ClubCoin. And we developed it because we knew we were going to build CoinPay. We thought CoinPay would be ready a whole lot faster than it was. But we started giving away ClubCoin, and we gave it all away to everybody, said, look, we'll put a buy wall in. We'll literally buy it all back if nobody wants it. Even though we gave it for free. But nobody wanted to sell for 5 cents. Like, people said, well, I'll buy more because I think they're going to end up building something here and it's going to have value in the future. And so any MLM thing that's just based around a coin, so far history shows that there have been hundreds of them, and 100% have been scams.
Okay, thank you so much. And anything that you want to say before we close? Anything that I didn't ask that you wish you have said?
Well, there's so many different things, but we'd be here for hours. I mean, just the main thing is, I mean, look, we've been doing this a long time, and the cryptocurrency space keeps getting better and better and better. It's just funny that we worked so hard for so long when Bitcoin was $200, $250, $240, $260, $300, and everybody would always ask us in meetings, Bitcoin was at 1,200, now it's at 200, what's wrong? They're like, well, nothing's wrong. I mean, this is, and I showed the trends. And so it's so funny that now Bitcoin went to 20,000, now it's back down at 4,000. Everybody's just like, oh, Bitcoin's just falling apart. And I just think it's so funny because basically all the guys that are millionaires in BitClub Network, not all, some people join later, but all of the people that joined BitClub and worked hard when it was 200 and stayed focused and just collected the Bitcoin and shared the message and educated and educated and educated, all of those guys are millionaires. All of them. You don't have anybody that joined when Bitcoin was 200, worked hard, and they didn't make any money. Like, it just doesn't exist. And so we're at that next valley, and the next jump, I don't know if it's going to come in a year or a year and a half or 2 years, but that next jump, if we go to 80,000 or 100,000, let's say we go to 100,000, that means Bitcoin right now is at 4% of 100,000. That means right now, if you were to cycle 10 times in a day right now, and you got, what would that be, $2,000? That would be 25 times. So that would be $50,000 that you made in a day if you don't sell that Bitcoin. So that's like, I was showing people like 3 purchases like years ago, and it would be like 4 cents. And I'm like, wait, don't look at 4 cents on a repurchase. It's this much Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's 10,000, that is now $3.90. You're banking huge money for the future here. And so when people are like, oh, but I could just buy the Bitcoin, make the money somewhere else. Yeah, you could. So why have I had so many people come to me literally crying, going, Russ, I'd be a millionaire if I would have listened to you? Because they didn't do that. So just all the stuff we educate people with, they can go and verify on their own. Literally nobody has to believe you and me. They don't have to believe a word we say. They can go learn it on their own. Nothing I say, you'll never hear me say, trust me. Like all the stuff we teach people about Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, you can learn all this on your own. You don't need us. In fact, in the amount of time that we have to educate people, there's this much information, we have time to give you that much information. We're just trying to give you the information that'll get you excited, where you'll get on the path to learn this information on your own. And again, I've never tried to sell anything. I've never asked anybody to please sign up, please buy a founder position, please get this. I've never done that. I've said, watch the webinar. Webinar is 100% education. And at the end of it, they call me, Russ, give me your link. How do I sign up? I got to get in. I got 10 people already watching the webinar. Like, just focus on the education. The money will come faster than you'll ever believe.
Amazing. So, well, I think we've come to the end of the last question. Are you a multimillionaire, a billionaire, or what do I say? You want to tell us?
Officially, I have no money. No money. Okay. I'm doing okay. And when people, I do have people ask me, this is real. They say, Russ, how much money do you make? I don't really know. Haven't really counted it. I probably know more about how my friends are doing more than I even do. I'm just trying to help everybody else. I have not focused on how much money I have. I'm not worried about it. The only important money is your last money. So I got nothing to worry about there. I'm worried about other people making money. If you worry about other people making money, you'll make plenty. Wow. So I could not tell you, like, I don't know exactly, but I'm okay. But I have hundreds of friends that are millionaires.
All right.
Hundreds.
Right.
Not many people have hundreds of friends that are millionaires. I do. So if anything's ever wrong, I got plenty of people I can call.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you. We respect you. You are everything to us.
And I miss you all in Africa so much. I'm so happy Hanna came to see me.